Look, I'm just going to be real with you guys here. If you want to get buyers on LinkedIn, you cannot be like everybody else. Every single career coach is posting the same content. Every business coach, high performance coach, 5 ways to do this, 3 ways to achieve this. This is how you get this. It doesn't work anymore. In fact, it's actually become this disproportionate graph in terms of who's actually getting clients and who's not. I think it's about like 5% of all coaches are getting 90% of the clients. Think about that. Don't you just want to be in that 5%, get all the buyers, have a 6 to 7 figure business, travel the world, be with your family, do whatever you'd want to do? All of that is very feasible, but you need to do things correctly. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a legitimate 6 to 7 figure coaching business organically on LinkedIn. So look, you have 3 assets at your disposal. You have your content on LinkedIn, you have your LinkedIn profile, and you have your LinkedIn inbox. That is all you need. You don't need more. You don't need a website. You don't need any of that stuff. All that stuff is actually designed to really just distract you. Now, this is the way you need to look at it, is that from one end, you need to get new potential buyers looking at you. Right? This doesn't mean they need to buy. This doesn't mean they even need to be interested. You just need to get people who fit your demographic. So let's say you're a career coach who helps women in tech, right? Now, the only thing you need to worry about at the beginning is just getting more women in tech to look at you. And you do that by adding connections. It's a very simple activity. You just get this done. You can hire a VA to do it if you don't want to do it. That's fine. Once you have done that, then your content becomes the biggest pillar. Now, again, don't just give very generic advice. I swear to you, the amount of generic advice I see on LinkedIn it hurts me. It hurts me because I'm like, I know you're trying to get clients, but it's just not going to work this way. The only way you're going to get buyers on LinkedIn is if you tell your story. You have to tell your story from so many different angles. Even if that means repeating the same stories, it's fine. You're getting new people looking at you. You don't need to come up with, a whole rags to riches story every single day, but tell things. Talk about situations when you were in interviews, how you handled them, mistakes you made. Doesn't always have to be wins, but you need to do this on a consistent basis. And when I say consistent basis, I'm literally saying you need to publish 5 times per week. If you publish 5 times per week, you'll get buyers. I'm telling you, if you follow everything else I'm about to teach you, right? Now, once you post all this content, you start getting people emotionally connected with you, which is the most important goal of all this. They need to become emotionally connected with you. Remember, in this coaching space, people do not invest in coaching, they invest into the coach, which means that they need to like you, they need to trust you, they need to look at you and say, okay, then from the back end, you're going to need to book calls. Remember this phrase forever. Your income is directly correlated to the number of sales calls that you schedule. So if you're just posting a bunch of content, and even if it's all your stories and background experiences, but people are not buying from you, well, then you just become some broke LinkedIn influencer that no one actually respects. I'm being honest with you, right? This is just my raw, honest feedback here. But if you start booking calls, things change. Now, you have to be intentional about booking calls. There's a lot of people who just put a link on their LinkedIn profile saying, book a call with me here, post a bunch of content, hope somebody books a call. I'll be honest, that's going to happen maybe 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, you need to be initiating that. And you can do that through your content. You could literally put at the end of your posts, hey, I'm offering a one-on-one power session call with me where I'm going to personally teach you how to achieve XYZ. Visit my LinkedIn profile, click on that link. That's a legit offer, right? You're not just leaving it on your profile hoping someone finds it. You're directing people there. That's good. That counts. Or the best way, have one-on-one conversations. If you're posting good content, you're going to start to get people engaging with you, right? Now, they may not DM you, but what they will do is they'll put out feelers. They'll like your posts. They'll comment on your posts. Maybe they'll view your profile. That's when you need to take initiative. You need to take enough initiative to reach out to these people and say, hey, I saw you checked out my profile. What were you looking for, right? If someone engages with your content, say, hey, I appreciate you engaging with my posts recently. What about my posts have you been getting the most value from? Put out your own feelers, back to them. Are you just a casual viewer? Are you looking to solve a problem? Don't ask them that, but that's what you're trying to get out of the question, right? Like that's what the goal is. And naturally, you're going to see a certain percentage of people are going to tell you about their problems. When they tell you about their problems, you book those calls. You offer help. You learn how to converse. Now, this whole video here I'm not going to teach you how to have conversations in the DMs. There's lots of videos on my YouTube channel teaching that, but you need to know how to have conversations to ultimately book calls. And then once you start booking calls, it all just becomes a numbers game. I swear to you, it gets really, really easy and straightforward from that point onwards. Because once you know how to book a call, then you just really need to make a goal and figure out, okay, well, what's my close rate? Right? And you honestly should not be closing any lower than 20% if these are coming in warm. right? If these people are coming in warm, like you've talked to them, you've learned about them, they know about you, they followed your content, you should be closing at a 20% rate, which means 1 out of every 5 calls should turn into a buyer, right? Again, very straightforward, very, very easy to do, right? But if you're getting 5 calls a week, you got to make sure this is an irrefutable standard. This is the thing I see a lot of people do, is they'll try and say, okay, I'll book 5 calls one week, they'll get a client, and then the next week they won't. Right? Then they have this feast or famine business. I'm telling you, make sure you are religious with these numbers. Be strict with yourself and say, I'm going to book these calls, come hell or high water, this is happening. Then when you start doing that, now you have a consistent system. Do you see what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you're like, okay, cool. I know where my buyers are. I can find them. I create the right kind of content to get them interested. They put out their feelers, liking my posts, viewing my profile, commenting on things. I reach out, they start booking calls, we start working together, cash is collected, everything works out. And then you can start to bring in VAs to start taking care of that small stuff for you. People who can add the connections for you, people who can publish content for you. Don't get them to create content for you, just publish content, right? Then you can start to remove yourself a little bit from the actual day-to-day grind, and then your life gets much easier, but you're still running, a 6 to 7 figure business. And again, to my point, if you're selling a $5,000, $10,000 program and you're booking 5 calls a week and you're closing at 20%, that's 1 client a week. That's 5 to 10 grand a week, right? That's 20 to 40 grand a month cash in your pocket if you're doing it right. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Set the systems up right. So I'm making this video to really show you what's possible. I've done it. My clients have done it. It's very, very possible if you do things correctly, right? I want to show you what's possible so that you can go and do it too. So with that being said, I'll leave you off with this and say, go out and make it happen on LinkedIn. And as always, if you just want to work with me directly in a one-on-one situation where I coach you through everything, where it's finding your buyers, teaching you what kind of content to create, building out that conversion system, all of that kind of stuff, you can just book a one-on-one call with me in the description below. I'll tell you all about my coaching program, how we can work together, and how I can get you to where you want to go as quickly as possible. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.